The Undertaker is a mark. Welcome back to Fog Wrestling. Wrestling's dead. It's 2 a.m. here in the United Kingdom. Over 13 hours ago, Crown Jewel started. And I'll stand by it, right? 13 hours have passed since that show began. I labelled John Cena and AJ Styles as one of the worst matches of all time. Hell, we labelled it the worst. I'm going to stand by it, man. That was fucking atrocious. I don't care what anybody says. That broke kayfabe and just butchered the business. An absolute finisher spam fest of other people's finishers, weakening every single move. It was embarrassing. And not, everything about that was an actual fucking disgrace. AJ Styles has been a fucking absolute bona fide jobber, by the way, for years. Especially the last couple of months, man. Teaming up with Dragon Lee, and I'm supposed to accept him kicking out of all these moves that Cena's doing to him, of greats, legends, and then jobbers. Disgrace. And then look at Taker tweets. I mean, that's a guy that spent 3 decades keeping kayfabe. And this is what he tweets after the match. Thank you, John Cena, and thank you, AJ Styles. A masterclass and beautiful tribute to wrestling. The Dower Universe said it, but that was awesome. Fuck off. I'm not accepting this, man. This guy gave up 30 years of his life to protect this business, to mark out for John Cena and AJ Styles ruining the business in like a 20 odd minute match. I can't sit here and accept it at 2 a.m. I just can't do it, guys. I can't do it. Oh, Undertaker. I mean, the Undertaker tweeting that a match was awesome in 7-word capitals. As Roy Keane would say, do me a favour. I mean, what are we? Seriously, guys, what are we playing at here? I'm holding on. I'm 6 feet from the edge, and I'm thinking, what next? How else are they going to butcher this business? You know, just a match that. Oh man, we fucking ranted and raved on it, but now a lot of people disagreed with us. But that's the great thing about this world we live in. Everybody's got an opinion. So let's dive into it. KBS says, "Oh, they're really going to click this one." We didn't do it for clickbait. If we, you see, if we wanted more views on YouTube, right? We would pretend that wrestling's great. That's obviously the formula that people have went down the last couple of years. The amount of arse kissing, the amount of tonguing of Triple H's rectal passage the last couple of years for people to try and get views is utterly embarrassing. If you there's a lot of fans of this channel, right, that like that Cena Styles match, but for me, that Cena Styles match ain't professional wrestling. That is not what I grew up on. That is a Mark's wet dream. It is, right? I'm not saying I can't. I'm not 100% naive, right? I can look at it and be like, I can understand why people think it's nice that Cena's doing tribute moves, right? I think it would be fine if he did it in small doses, but not when you're hitting about 12 different finishers, man. Come on. No, seriously, man. So, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. Now, Beer Guy says, it was a classic in my opinion. All the moves of the past and 2 legends doing them as well. I'm not Meltzer, but definitely 7 stars. But see, I don't like them doing moves of the past of previous guys and kicking out. AJ Styles, like I said, has been jobbing it for months. Losing to the Judgment Day. Losing to Bobblehead McDonough. But here he is, taking moves off Cena, who's hitting every finisher under the sun for every bloody wrestler of the past 40 years. And he's kicking it. That doesn't sit right with me. To me, that just breaks kayfabe and destroys credibility of finishers. But here, I'm old school, and these, I don't know. I just don't know. Hey, bro, kayfabe has been dead for over a little over 4 years. But kayfabe's been dead for way more than that, right? The cat's been out of the bag in wrestling for decades at this point. Doesn't mean you continue to expose it. like everybody knows it's fake, but once they start revealing it's fake on the actual show, which this did, let's be real, this is what they're doing here, then you may as well pack up and go home. Like there's actually no point of doing it. Kenneth, worst match of all time? Question mark. Crowd giving the match a standing ovation. The crowd hang on to every near fall. I understand this is your opinion. I almost thought this video was a clickbait. How is this match a disgrace? Do you not understand what a love letter to pro wrestling is? Going into this match, it had no story, so they did the best thing they could. Tell the stories throughout the match. Greatest. Right, hold on. Tell the story throughout the match. They did a bunch of finishers for people in the past. What's the story? No, seriously. Where is the story in John Cena hitting Sister Abigail? It's just a move that Bray Wyatt used to do, right? Before he sadly passed away, and Cena wrestled him in a couple of matches. There's no story there, folks. That's not a story, right? What's the story? It's just a move, right? That's all it is. So to pretend that that's a story is a fucking reach, and that's why wrestling is so dead. See, when people think a wrestling move is a story, that's why we're fucked in 2025. That's why it won't be good again. There's no point even arguing with people like this if you think a singular move is an actual story. It's just not. I mean, if you watch a TV show, right, a single punch is not a storyline. It's not an arc. It needs to be more than that, right? No, come on, play the game, son. That's fucking embarrassing. And Damian Ramsey, Ramsey Wamby says a finishing fest to someone like AJ who got beaten by Dominic just a month ago. A guy and is now a jobber kicking out of all those finishers. It looked ridiculous. Yeah. Why can't people say this? See this? Sorry. No, seriously. Why can't people see that though? How does that not? How can people not see that? It just destroys like kayfabe. Like I said in the actual video, at least with Cena, he's been relatively strong this year. He's had a lot. He's won a lot of matches, and He's had a lot of matches where he's kicked out a lot of finishers, going toe to toe with quote unquote main eventers of 2025. AJ Styles has been a fucking jobber, and he's even vocal. Voiced that opinion. He's been vocal about that. Even his son's been vocal about it. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend it's honky dory and everything's but Ralph says WWE's for neckbeards. Awful show. Yep. Bro wants to be different so bad. We don't though. You know what I mean? Not the funny thing is, this fucking loser says we want to be different so bad. How do we want to be different? Mate, millions, tens of millions, right, have tuned out since the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression Era, right? We're like those fans. We want the good stuff to return. You guys are in the fucking minority because you're a bunch of marks and you like this shit. So let's not pretend that me and the big man that do this channel want to be different so bad. You guys are the ones that want to be different and just enjoy your wee marky fucking shite compared to the majority of the population of the world that wants fucking good, engrossing, enthralling television. Alright? That's what we want. Not fucking whatever we got in this match, right? Shite. I was about to say I thought it was tonight, not last night, just realised it's literally all night. Yeah. Black Circle, none of this shit would fly 20, 25 years ago. Yeah, I mean, all these people saying it's good. Could you imagine back in 99, man? They're hitting all the moves of like, I mean, WCW was a dumpster fire around that time, so I wouldn't even count them. But you look at WWE back in the day. You try and tell me if fucking two guys were hitting stunners, tombstones, pedigree, sweet chin music, fucking rock bottoms, and you name it, man. All these other moves, it would be deemed accept. I mean, look at how protected like the 3D was. Like no one kicked out of that. It's just same with the end of days. Imagine there's moves. Nothing's protected anymore. They're as protected as Triple H going fucking bareback into Cody Rhodes. No, because we know he does that. Black Circle, attempt at 619. John, you don't need to do everyone's fucking finishers. Is out of place. Nothing more cringe than seeing grown men in Cena shirts marking out to this crap. This is all. No, it's utter shite. Everything is just fanfare and pandering to marks. Yeah, so I mean, it did split opinion, but for me, absolutely atrocious. I am not changing my opinion on it. I was going to say I've slept on it. No, I've not actually had any sleep since then. But pathetic. Pathetic.